Rucker Collective with today's sample breakdown. I'll be breaking down the sample from my latest pack, the Continuum sample pack, which is volume 61. The name of the sample is called My Love Child, created by myself, featuring my guy, Felipe Mora, on guitar. So we're just gonna get right into it real quick, all right? All right, so the first thing I want to touch up is kind of show you guys is the meat and potatoes of the sample pack, which is this chord progression. So simple chord progression right there. That's pretty much the driving force of the sample. And then the next thing I want to show you guys is the bass line as well. This is a bass line that's pretty layered. So what I have for my bass line is pretty simple. I have just a funk bass VST from Contact. No processing there or tweaking on that end. And then to cover the low end of that bass line, I'm using Clicky 106 sub from Trillion as well. The reason why I layered it with two is because I have the funk bass line covering the high end frequencies with the reverb in it, gives it more of a sharper tone. And then for the low end, I'm using the Trillion 106 sub. So then after that, I also have some percussion. I use percussion in my sample packs because I want to give it like a certain rhythmic texture. So if a producer were to flip it, they already know where the pocket is, and all they gotta do is add heavier drums to it. So this is basically stock sounds that I've used from FL Studio. So I purposely had those drums light, like I said, so it's not taking up too much frequencies. Then after that, I have these this simple chord line progression that I'm using from Yamaha CS80, which is also part of our Trillion sample pack sound library, which is the name of the sound is called Homeworld. This is the line right here. So more of a staccato feel. So no processing on this end, on this as well. And then after that, I did record my voice just to kind of give it a little bit more of a vocal texture, off key and all. So this is the vocal line that I recorded myself. Well, this is the vocal line that I recorded myself. So the processing for that, for the vocals is auto-tune, a little alter board. I bring the format down 11.2, negative 11.2 with the compressor on it. And then a lot of the instruments in this sample have TL Chorus LX, just to kind of give it that big reverb 80s feel. That's the vibe I was trying to go for, more so like an 80s ballad vibe a little bit. So a lot of these samples have this plugin on it. A lot of the instruments have this plugin on it, including these vocals right here. So with the vocals, I also dropped some of the low end out just to kind of make sure it doesn't clash with anything else. And added reverb as well, not too much reverb, and also did a vocal doubler here as well. And so that is the A section of the sample. This is the B section as well. So in the B section, on top of the instruments that I already explained, here are some additionals that I added to kind of bring it to life and make it a little bit more bigger, right? So here I have one of my favorite plugins that favorite VSTs that I use from Spectrasonics. It's called Enchanted 80s, which is part of Keyscape, to kind of give it that big feel. So same chords, just different inversion. Different inversion, different section. On top of that as well, I have, I'm also using Piano V2 from Arturia as well. The name of the sound that I'm using is American Grey Road to also give it more of a metallic feel as well. So this is the sound right here. Again, still trying to emulate that 80s feel where it's like big reverb sound. So super, super wet. Cool. Also going into this B section right here is also a lead sprinkler that I added as well. If you have a lot of my sample packs, I have this lead sprinkler that leads into the B section of the song of whatever samples that you've probably got from me. So here's one right here. So I'll play this by itself. Boom. And then last but not least for the B section is the guitar line that was played by my good friend Felipe Mora. It picks up right towards the end of the A section. We're going into the B section right here. So. So that is what he added. Not much processing on this one because he actually did processing in his home studio, but what I did add was the Tal Chorus LX, kind of giving it a big feel, and then cut some of the low end out as well. And then last but not least, this little rinky-dink cymbal crash, I believe this is right here. That's it. Little 808 cymbal crash right there. So yeah, I believe that is it. As far as for my masters, quite simple. I have a vinyl plugin, 1980 section right here. I also added Manny Reverb from stereo this time and added a little bit more reverb to it and gave it a large room chamber feel as well. And then last but not least, this plugin I use a lot. A lot of people sleep on it. It's called Cassette. It makes things a lot much brighter. So, and since I wanted to kind of emulate that decade, I decided to throw it right on the master. And I believe the last plugin is Apex Vintage Exciter. This is one plugin I'm still trying to explore as well. This also kind of brightens up the higher end of the mix as well. So I believe that is the end of this sample. My Love Child created by myself. You can find it on volume 61, Continuum sample pack, featuring my guy Felipe Mora, and now available on the Drum Broker and the RuckerCollective.com. Thanks, guys.